you know that around 42% of all mobile searches are now made using voice? And that number has grown dramatically in the last few years, which means mobile search isn't just important. For many, it's become the default way that they search for services. So today we're ignoring desktop completely and judging 3 law firms by one thing only: their mobile experience. We're putting 3 leading law firms from the same city head to head to discover what the best are doing differently so you can steal the strategies that are actually working and avoid those that don't. One of these 3 firms is going to win a copy of my book, which you can also buy on Amazon. But here's the twist, because one of these firms is going to win a free conversion makeover, and I'll reveal that at the end of this video. Round 1 is attention. I've got a degree in packaging design, and one of the things I learned is that a product on the supermarket shelf, well, it's got less than a second to grab your attention. That's why Heinz baked beans comes in a blue can when every other can on the shelf is orange. Blue wins the attention. And if you fail to grab someone's attention in those first few critical seconds, they will simply jump over to another option, and you'll never get a chance to win them as a client. So let's jump into Google and do a search for divorce lawyer near Manchester. So these guys are advertising. So the first thing I notice, these reviews. See how generic they are? They're super generic. Now, sometimes that's out of control because Google actually takes a snippet of the full review and displays that. But we have found that when it's generic like this, that actually people don't rate them as highly, which is understandable. But when you actually go into the full review, you can actually see there's decent information here. Wherever possible, do encourage your reviewers to try and give some meat, some details, because Google will rate that more highly. Perhaps more importantly, so will your prospective clients. So that's a plus here. You've got some long, decent reviews here. Can't help but point out the images here. And we can see in this example, we've just got 2 different images. One is just the logo, and one is a street view and actually shows a different company name outside the building. So definitely losing points on the images. And by the way, actually getting good reviews is of course always desirable, but it's not as valuable for your SEO ranking as you might think. And actually when we come to the next firm, that will become obvious. So the next firm I want to look at is these guys here. Notice that these 2 are sponsored. So these are actually currently in 2nd position for organic listings. But notice, just got 1 review here. So like I say, Google reviews aren't the only thing that's important to your ranking. So let's take a look at what they're doing. Now, I was actually going to skip this firm completely because basically this is what I would call SEO slop. So if you take a look here, what we can see is a very simple page full of ugly text. If we scroll down, we can see it's crammed full of text. And basically this is keyword stuffed, full of terms. Lots and lots of different links, almost unreadable, totally designed for Google ranking, totally not designed for the actual user experience. Now, this video is all about how you can learn from other companies and from the things we highlight to get more inquiries, to get more prospects coming to your firm. Now, this is going to do a very poor job of that, but I did want to not just gloss over it, I did want to highlight it just to show you that Google ranking isn't the same as ranking for people's experience. And that's why I've done a completely separate video all about how to boost your local SEO ranking. So by all means, check that out. But for this video, we're going to dump these guys. And let's go to the next one in our list, Aramis. Now, one of the first things that stands out to me here is we've got a dedicated contact us page. We've got people that are in a high state of action. That's why they've gone to Google, they've done a search, they've found a firm. Some of those people just want to take action. They maybe want to make a phone call or they want to book a call. No reason you shouldn't do that. Also, let's take a look at these images. Great images. Particularly like this one. conveys a lot of authority, a lot of credibility, ranked in Chambers UK 2026. Great images, definitely scoring points for that. Now, one thing that does let them down is here. They're not open 24 hours. Now, we do find firms that have a telephone answer service, a live telephone answer service, simply get more inquiries. The reason being, people are driven to action usually because of an event in their own life. That event might happen in the evening, early morning, over a weekend. If you don't have the option to do that, they often will choose another firm that does. Now let's take a look at the Maguire Family Law. Actually, I should point out that I like both these names because they've got family law in the title. It helps for ranking, but perhaps more importantly, it helps your user know for sure that you're a specialist in this area of law. Notice that they do not have a dedicated contact us page. Okay, so the first thing that stands out to me is the images. Looks like we've got some great images here. So let's take a deeper look. Picture of either the founder or one of the key lawyers. Nice, natural looking photograph. Now we've got a professional headshot. Even more professional headshot. Know exactly who you're working with. So I think these images are great, but there's two tricks they're not using. There's no video here. We've got extra bonus points if there was. And another trick that actually not enough firms are doing. They haven't repurposed their testimonial into a graphical form. They could have put that here. And that's a great way of adding extra credibility and attracting more inquiries. So let's take a look at the scores. In bronze position is Aaron and Partners. Now, I had high hopes for these guys because I know they are actively advertising right now, but until they improve their client's journey, well, they're paying to send prospects to an underperforming listing. 1 point. Taking silver is Maguire Family Law. Great images and a much stronger first impression. 3 points to them, which means today's round one winner is Aramis Family Law. The booking link inside their Google business profile ultimately gave them the edge. 4 points. Now, attention is great. In fact, it's critical, but on its own, it's not enough. Now, Hines can get away with a simple label because they've spent decades building trust and loyalty. Most law firms, well, they just don't have that luxury. When someone lands on your website, your messaging needs to do the heavy lifting. If it doesn't, you're going to be put back on the shelf, and you rarely get a second chance. Because people looking for a divorce lawyer, well, they're not searching for the cheapest. They're actually not even searching for the best. They're searching for the safest. When they're worried about losing their home, their savings, even access to their children, they need to feel that they're in safe hands. So let's see which of today's firms wins that trust. Round 2, trust. Okay, so here we are on the Aaron and Partners Solicitors website. This is our front page, effectively. Now, first thing I like about this page, wonder if you can spot it. I don't think you will. It's actually down here. I like that it's got this chat box here. So if somebody actually wants to take action, they can jump in here and do exactly that. Now, what's not clear here is if you enter your name and email address, what happens next? Are you going to chat to an AI bot? Are you going to chat to a real person? Is it going to direct you to a form? None of that's clear here. So I would definitely add some extra information. But you probably know what I'm going to say, right? There's nothing here that conveys trust. Now, what's actually hiding in this box here is a lot of this information, lots of great reviews, what clients say, 99% say they would recommend. This is all great stuff, but hidden under a box that most people that aren't experts in law, they won't even know that this is a button. So all that valuable information that absolutely speaks to credibility for this firm is effectively lost for 99% of their visitors, and that's such a shame. And these images are doing very little to convey authority. The rest of the page is finally got a contact form down here, but the worst bit of this whole website is actually above the fold, and that's kind of unforgivable. Right, let's take a look at our next one. Okay, so here we are on Aramis, and what I like about this is the video. Video is such a great way to attract some attention. I've seen this on the desktop where it's displayed a lot better, but here, of course, you can see it's getting cropped off, and that's such a shame. Scoring some points there, but losing some for how it's displayed on mobile. Now, what I would say is actually the rest of this page is neatly laid out. It's done in sections. It's easy to read. Got a nice nav bar here. But again, above the fold, there's 0 trust points here. Nothing here to attract people to this firm over any other. Why should they reach out and contact this firm? So now we get to our last firm, Maguire Family Law. Now, what we'll say is we've got a nice menu bar here designed specifically for mobile. It works nicely, and we've got a very simple layout, and I mean that in a good way. I like that, and I like the fact we've got 2 very simple ways for a visitor to take action. But 2 things that are kind of unforgivable. Most important real estate on your whole website is this generic image. Replace that with one of the images down here. It's just a picture of one of the lawyers, somebody they might be working with. Would be so much more powerful. And you're probably not going to say this information that's hiding in here. It talks about the great reviews you've got, what clients say about you, all excellent information. That needs to be here above the fold for everybody to see. I don't know what percentage of people are actually going to click on here, but it's going to be tiny. All those assets are being wasted. Right, let's take a look at the scores. Now this one was incredibly close. In bronze position, Maguire Family Law. That weak hero image ultimately cost them 2 points. Taking silver, Aaron and Partners, also with 2 points. But they edge ahead on the tie break thanks to that live chat box. Which means our round 2 winner is Aramis Family Law. Not perfect, but they do have a clear headline that immediately tells visitors they're in the right place. 3 points. So you've managed to stand out on the shelf and you've earned enough trust for someone to pick you up and check you out. But this is where most websites lose the sale. So let's see which of today's firms makes that next step obvious, simple, and inviting. Round 3, action. Okay, so let's take a look at the contact form. Got a nice, simple form. This is good. It's not too long, not too short. Repeat the phone number, repeat the option of an email. Very simple, but honestly, it's well executed. And there's no benefit given, at least, why they should reach out to you. Either a friendly face, accolades, testimonials. Again, this would be a great place to put at least one of those devices here to encourage those conversions. This is the critical moment, right, where someone decides to contact you or not. So you should do all you can to encourage that. All right, let's move on to the next one. And I like that we've got a little bit of text here, at least kind of encouraging them, the visitor, to actually complete the form and actually get in contact. But having a picture of a wall, I don't see any logic in that. Just imagine there's a nice picture here instead, next to the words contact us. That's going to work like 100 times more effective. And the contact form is actually hiding at the bottom and it's very generic. And honestly, there's a lot of firms or websites that don't even respond to their forms. When they see something generic like that, they start to worry. Is anyone even going to answer this form if I complete it? But again, probably guess what I'm going to say. There's no trust points above the fold here. And the very minimum we could do here is have a nice friendly face. Let's move on to our last firm. Okay, so here is our Contact Us page for Maguire. And let's have a look down here. And great, we've actually got a couple of trust signals here. Simple form, a little bit generic, some nice images of who you might be working with. But this image here, it doesn't convey any value at all. Just put one of these images here. I would pick this one here. Nice smiley face. At the top here, next to the Contact Us. Right, let's move on to the scores. Another very close round, but last spot goes to Aramis Family Law. I just can't forgive a photo of a wall when you're trying to invite people to actually connect with you. 2 points. In silver, with a simple form and custom questions, is Aaron and Partners. 3 points. But just edging ahead, gold spot goes to Maguire Family Law. Those trust signals ultimately were the important difference. Also, 3 points. So that's all 3 rounds completed. Here are the final scores. In third position, and the firm that wins today's Client Conversion Makeover, is Aaron and Partners with 6 points. I'm going to show you their makeover in just a second. In silver position is Maguire Family Law with 8 points. And in gold position is Aramis Family Law. They take the title with 9 points. Congratulations, they're today's Client Magnet Challenge champion. I'm going to send them a copy of my family law marketing book, but perhaps the real winner is Aaron and Partners because they win the Conversion Makeover. Now you might remember one of the things they actually did well was they sent people to a dedicated page for people that found them on Google. So rather than redesign their entire website, we focused on just one thing. How do we turn more of those visitors into inquiries? Now, to do that well, we need to answer 4 questions that every prospect has when they land on your website. Number 1, can they help me? Now, this is actually one of the biggest challenges a multi-service law firm like Aaron and Partners has, because they offer different services. You can't zoom in to one particular problem, one particular issue. So instead of focusing on one specific legal problem, we use a broader headline that communicates their quality across all their services. Number 2, will they be easy to work with? To achieve that, we removed any unnecessary navigation, we simplified the layout, and we made the next step super clear. We also adjusted their color treatment to make the firm feel more approachable. Number 3, can I trust them? To achieve that, we brought some of their strongest trust signals forward, including a testimonial right at the top of the page, with more credentials lower down. We also replaced the cold city image with something much more human, showing the people actually performing the service. Our last question is number 4. What do I do next? Now the page has just one primary clear action. Visitors know exactly what they need to do to start a conversation with the firm. And this is the Conversion Makeover we created. Now, I'd love to know what you think. Which of these would you choose? And I want to leave you with one challenge. Take a look at your own website. Do your visitors instantly feel you can help them? You'll be easy to work with, they can trust you, and they know exactly what to do next. Or maybe it's time for a conversion makeover.